Holy Angels and Shakopee have not met in girls basketball since their days in the Missota Conference. That changes tonight in a battle of defending section champions. The Holy Angels Stars, one of the teams to watch in Class 3A, look to add another victory against a Class 4A opponent, the Shakopee Sabres, winning Section 2 last year and off to a great start this year. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Peden, all by myself, talking to myself. Well, Alex is running the camera and so is Aaron. So I guess I'm not by myself. And I certainly like to thank all of the neighbors and visitors watching this on YouTube and on television. Holy Angels, off to a frenetic, terrific start. It's not uncommon for them to score in the 80s and 90s these days. They have a couple of back-to-back 80-point performances, although they split those games, losing a close one to Robbinsdale Cooper and then beating Bloomington Jefferson in a runaway. Frankie Vascellaro, building on her sensational sophomore season, 23 points per game, averaging close to a double-double. She could lead the team in every category by season's end. Joe Berg and Dan Woods, part of the coaching staff at Holy Angels, would like to see Frankie be a little more aggressive on defense, but they say offensively she's focused, in control. She's got the pull-up, the turnaround. She recently crossed 1,000 points when Holy Angels put up 97 on Minnehaha Academy, the defending Class 2A champs. Other players to keep an eye on: Kassie, Caron having a great start to her sophomore season, and Grace Massaquoi averaging 10 off the bench. Didn't play at all for this team a year ago. The Henry twins, Rachel Kowicki, it's all coming together, and Holy Angels could be a front runner in Class 3A. Shakopee, not a lot's known about them. They're not a team that runs up the score like Holy Angels, Farmington, or Hopkins, but they did reach the state tournament last year in a competitive Section 2 that has the likes of Chaska and Eden Prairie. Natalie, Holte, and Kelley Brennan are the two top scorers for the Sabres. Shakopee won the first 3 games of the season before getting routed by Farmington. Farmington, one of the top teams in Class 4A. But this will be a good test for the Sabres, and as we saw a year ago in Section 2, anything can happen, so keep an eye out for the Sabres. They may be an underdog in Class 4A, but there's a good chance they could be back in state again. We'll be back to tip things off in a moment. Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves. Holloman, good if it goes. Yes! Game winners. James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in! And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. Let's put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
And for the Stars, we've got a junior.
Welcome back to the Academy of Holy Angels in Richfield. And you may not be able to see it from this vantage point, but since the last time we were here, which was for volleyball back in the fall, they have added side panels. So it'll be a lot easier to keep track of points and fouls, or as Dan Woods and Joel Burke put it, Holy Angels has finally caught up to 1986. But usually the scoreboard is the least of concerns. Nice little addition, though. Holy Angels wearing their black alternates, so we'll see if that changes things up as far as the numbers go. Doesn't look that way so far. Remember last time we were here, in the game with Como Park, the black alternates featured some unusual numbers from their regular white and blue kits. As we noted, this was a matchup you would see often in the days of the Missota Conference. Juan Mitchell, the Shakopee head coach, and Dan Woods, the Holy Angels head coach, very familiar with each other, and they look at it as the renewal of a very friendly rivalry. Let's take a look at the starting 5 for the Shakopee Sabres. It's Delaney Jossert, number 2. Natalie Holte, number 3. Paige Brose, number 12. Maya Mitchell, number 31. And Kelley Brennan, number 33. Holy Angels will start the same 5 as last time. So it's Frankie Vascellaro, number 1. Emma Henry, number 10. Her twin sister Isabel, number 31. Rachel Kowicki, number 34. And Kassie Caron, number 42. Holy Angels 4-2, Shakopee 3-1. The losses for Holy Angels came against Dowling Catholic at the Twin Cities tip-off at St. Thomas. Dowling Catholic, the school in Iowa, you don't have to worry about them. Robbinsdale Cooper going back to 4A in the reclassification, don't have to worry about them either. This is the third straight Class 4A school and fifth of the season for the Stars. And a very fitting pregame, or I should say tip-off tune. It is cold outside, although not as cold as yesterday. Shakopee won the first 3 games of the season before that 34-point loss to Farmington. They win the tip and we're underway. Against Shakopee, typically they don't like to score. They don't like to have scores in the 70s or 80s. They like to distribute the ball. There's a 3 on the way. And Shakopee scores on the first possession, Delaney Josser. Now, Holy Angels, they like to push. We saw that in the game with Cretin-Durham Hall. They put up 87. They scored 97 over Minnehaha Academy, 82 in the loss to Cooper, and 81 against Jefferson. Rachel Kowicki, 17-footers off the mark. And the scrum for the rebound is won by Maya Mitchell. She finds Jossert down low, and Jossert converts the layup. Shakopee in the South Suburban Conference, Holy Angels in the Tri-Metro. Some other teams of note for Shakopee. Tomorrow they will go on the road to play Eastview, one of the perennials. Frankie Vascellaro, that turnaround jumper is so tough to contain. Back-to-back 30-point games for Frankie Vascellaro. She had 3 30-point games last year. On pace to obliterate that mark. 3-ball, corner pocket for Paige Brose. Brose averaging 6.8 a game. None of the numbers would jump out at you for Shakopee. There's Kassie Caron trying to bank it off the glass, no good. Kassie did not score against Bloomington Jefferson. She has double digits in every other game this season. Holy Angels with the possession arrow. And that was one of the differences, perhaps. And Joe Berg told me the game with Cooper, it was back and forth all the way to the end. They had a chance to tie it up at the buzzer. Came up just a bit short. Frankie Vascellaro, hesitation move, pulls up, and gets the friendly roll. Vascellaro recently crossed 1,000 points, doing so against Minnehaha Academy, and in the process, satisfied her parents. I'll explain in a minute. 3 on the way from Holte. Bullseye. The reason why her parents are happy is because they were worried that they might have to miss her 1,000th point because of an overlap. Shakopee with the steal and the run out, and the Sabres displaying their speed. Kelley Brennan scores, and it's a 13-4 start for the Sabres. Henry to Kowicki. Rachel misses the 15-footer. And the rebound to Natalie Holte. And this start, this run of Shakopee could work in their favor because then they can work the clock a little bit as we move on. But to finish up the story, they were worried that Frankie would cross 1,000 at the Twin Cities tip-off during the Saturday session against Dowling. Frankie didn't have the greatest of games, so that wasn't an issue. The issue for her parents was that would have happened on the same day her twin brother, Joe Vascellaro, was playing in the Class 5A State Football Championship over at US Bank Stadium. Chaska beat St. Thomas Academy in that one. As the Vascellaros told me, it's a good problem to have. 3-ball. Missing everything that time was Jossert. Holy Angels looking to push. Cherish Henderson out on the floor for the Stars. And Shakopee executes again in transition. Brose up to 5. And a traveling violation on Holy Angels. The Stars in a hole here in the early going. Stars with 3 straight home games to end the calendar year. They take the holidays off. They'll host Orono next Thursday and resume play on January 3rd against Maranatha Christian Academy. Shakopee will also take the holiday session off. They have a few more games. In fact, they're playing 5 games in 8 days. Another 3 for the Sabres. That does not go in. And a dead ball rebound to Holy Angels. Holy Angels tonight, Eastview tomorrow, Egan next Tuesday, Jefferson next Thursday, and Chanhassen on Friday. Chanhassen, a section opponent for Shakopee. There's Grace Massaquoi, she'll shoot 2. Massaquoi averaging 10.5 points, 5.2 rebounds off the bench.
At the line for 2 is number 2, Grace Massaquoi.
First one goes in and out. Dead ball rebound to the Sabres, who have a 15-4 lead in the early going. Shakopee on the run again. They win the scrum for the ball. And now they swing it around. Here's Brennan working around a double team, no good. Shakopee a little too hard. More rebounds coming their way though. A 3 from Holte does not drop, and Frankie Vascellaro collects the rebound that time. About 4 chances for the Sabres, nothing to show for it. Massaquoi. Stars in trouble again. They kick back out. That's Lexi Egan, number 3. Over to Henderson, number 5. Dan Woods subbing early, trying to find a combination that's working. And Lexi Egan will shoot 2. Long way to go, though. 13-18 left in the first half.
Foul is on the Sabres, number 33, Kelley Brennan. That's her first. At the line for the Stars, number 3, Lexi Egan, 2 shots.
First personal foul on Brennan. Just the second team foul on the Sabres. And free throws having a hard time going in. It's interesting that the Stars are having a rough start here. As I was speaking with Joe Berg, we were discussing conference opponents. As you can imagine, the De La Salle series will be one to watch. Holy Angels turns it over. He felt that it's tougher to shoot in De La Salle because of the closer confines than it is here. But right now, the Stars having trouble finding the basket. They're 0 for 4 from the free throw line. And the Sabres have an 11-point lead. Rachel Kulwicki urging her team on from the bench. Holte with the pump fake, goes up, off the rim, no good. Another rebound, count it. Shakopee all over the boards. Kelley Brennan with a chance at 3.
Basket is good. Foul is on.
As we noted, no one particular player jumps out at you for Shakopee. The highest score anyone has posted this season is 17. And owing to that balance of theirs, they already have 3 players with 5 points, and they could add to it here. Holte left alone. 3 is short. Cherish Henderson looking to run. Finds Frankie Vascellaro. She draws contact. Nothing called. We play on.
Maya Mitchell is hacked by Lexi Egan. She'll shoot 2. Dan Woods had an interesting observation when I spoke to him before the game. He noted how well all the old Missota Conference teams are doing. You know, Hutchinson had a solid run a few years ago, making it to state. Shakopee got to state last year. Holy Angels has qualified to the 3A state tournament 4 years in a row. Farmington with a very good chance of making it to the state tournament for the first time ever. Mitchell gets on the board. All 5 starters have scored for the Sabres. Grace Massaquoi finally ends the drought for the Stars, but they have a lot of work to do. 19-6. Kate Cordes on the floor for the Sabres. Cherish Henderson rebounds the miss. Watch your grip there, Cherish. Massaquoi sees a lane and gets the roll. Massaquoi, her season high is 18. Grace, a sophomore, did not play with this team a year ago, and a welcome addition that has given the Stars a lot of depth. Shakopee, 3 off the mark, but another offensive rebound. Cordes will try it, bullseye. And that will be enough to get a timeout from Shakopee. Not sure why you call it. You're up by 14, but maybe trying to get your players settled in. 30-second timeout. 10:55 left in the first half. And a reminder that if you'd like to support our long-lasting coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros, check us out at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor us on PayPal and Cash App. Lots of ways for you to contribute. Every contribution goes to our sports coverage. We've been getting a lot of support in the early part of the season, and I know a lot of you fans in the state and across the world love watching our basketball coverage. So if you want to help make this mission a reality, check out one of our options. Starters back out on the floor, most of them anyway, for the Stars. We trail by 14. Massaquoi got bumped by Kelley Brennan. That will be her second personal foul, and she might be heading to the bench with 10:40 left in the first half. Holy Angels, as we noted, 4 straight appearances in the Class 3A state tournament. Came oh so close to knocking off De La Salle in the semifinal round. Frankie Vascellaro had a terrific game. Dealt with some injuries in the first 2 meetings of that series, and who knows what would have happened. Dan Woods was telling me he would have loved a shot at Becker, and he wouldn't mind if he gets to draw them again. Of course, both teams have to get to state first. Holy Angels and Becker both have a good chance to do so. But with the way the rankings are at the moment, as Frankie Vascellaro fires the 3, they would meet potentially in the semifinal round, and depending on how the 2 teams fare, it might be a championship round. As it stands right now, both teams have a good chance of getting one of those 5 seeds. Isabel Henry didn't have the best of angles, but she'll shoot 2 nonetheless. Isabel Henry involved in several activities here with Holy Angels. National Honor Society, the STEM program among them. Also a big fan of sweets, although she said it's probably unhealthy for her. And that breaks the offer from the free throw line.
Isabel Henry shooting 2, 1 left.
Isabel Henry averaging 7.5 points per game, 4.7 steals. And 1 of 6 clip from the free throw line is not helping Holy Angels in the slightest. Grace Massaquoi, clean block. Ball still loose. Massaquoi almost had it. Now the Sabres get a transition bucket out of it. Kate Cordes. And she's up to 5. So you've got 4 5s. 4 of a kind. Rachel Kowicki walked. (24-9). Sabres over Stars. This is Jasmine McClellan, number 1. Another 3, bullseye. Cordes with her second triple. She has 8 points, and the Sabres putting a number on the Stars, and they could add to it. Mitchell with the interception. She's off to the races, and she'll finish. 29-9. Eden Prairie and Chaska were the favorites in Section 2 in the preseason. Isabel Henry completes the baseline drive, but I'll tell you what, Shakopee, they belong in the conversation. For the curious, they will not play Eden Prairie, and they did get a win over Chaska, 58-53. Mitchell kicks out. Shakopee still favoring that 3 ball. It's worked in their favor so far. Not that time, but Holy Angels in a big hole. Frankie Vascellaro pulls up and it looks short. Kowicki able to save it. Jump ball, Shakopee with the arrow. 8:07 left in the first half, 29-11.
2 substitutions in the game. Number 2, Delaney Jossard back in. And number 33, Kelley Brennan, both back in the game for the Sabres. 2 and 33.
Shakopee unable to finish that time, but they're showcasing a lot of speed. Collision, nothing called there, and Kowicki can't save it that time. Holy Angels, if you're wondering, will face a few other contenders from Section 2. They go on the road to play Prior Lake on January 16th, and they will also go on the road to face Chanhassen. Both schools former Missota Conference members. Prior Lake looking a lot different this year without McKenna Hofschild, and Chanhassen building their way up. Might be a year or 2 away from being a force again. Kowicki with the block. And Isabel Henry got the deflection. The ball was last touched by Jasmine McClellan. Let's see if this gives the Stars a boost. And that De La Salle series, if you're wondering, the dates are January 7th and 31st. And an unforced error on the Stars. But those 2 games will be big, not just because of the conference rivalry, but with the history between the 2, De La Salle winning a state championship last winter, Holy Angels doing so in 2016. And have been in the conversation since. Mitchell, fouled by Kowicki. Kowicki keeping her head in the game. I'll say this much. No lack of enthusiasm on the floor. Brings a very energetic attitude. Maya Mitchell shooting 2. That's the second foul on Kawicki, and she'll stay on the floor for now. We've seen this Holy Angels team work their way through foul trouble in the past, including that game with Como Park, the overtime thriller a year ago. Another offensive rebound. I've got a feeling I know what Dan Woods is going to talk about with this team during the halftime intermission. All those rebounds are just killing the Stars, among other things. Sabres up by 19. Frankie pulls up again. Short. Last touch by Shakopee.
Substitution for the Sabres, number 12, Paige Rose in the game.
It owes to what I said yesterday. When it comes to games and matchups, there are no guarantees. Frankie for 3. In and out. Three on the way. Rebound, it caroms again to Mitchell. Feels like Shakopee has a 2-to-1 edge in that category. And now they left Holte wide alone for 3. Frankie running the floor. And the foul is called on McClellan. Last to give for the Sabres.
Foul is on the Sabres, number 1, Jasmine McClellan.
This might surprise you, but Kawicki leads the team in assists at 3.3, and one of them includes that tumbling dish to Frankie Vascellaro in the Cretin-Durham Hall game. An early entry into plays of the year. Isabel Henry will shoot 2 more. She draws a foul on Paige Bros.
Foul is on the Sabres, number 12, Paige Bros. That's her second person. And 2 shots for number 31.
Isabel Henry, 10 steals against Burnsville to open the season, averaging 4.7 on the year.
In the game for the Stars, for the Sabres, number 23, Kate Gordon. Kate Gordon.
Henry makes both that time. And if you're the Stars with 5:18 to go, just looking for a few plays to get some momentum. And number 32 is out there. I believe that's Kylie Zent. Again, when they wear the black alternates, it can be a little confusing figuring out who's who. Shakopee still going to that 3 ball. Holy Angels over pursues on the rebound, but they get it anyway. Henry needs help, finds it with her twin sister. Emma pulls up. That didn't work out. Here's Holte. Out to Cordes. Now Bros has it. High-low. Frankie Vascellaro blocks it. It goes right back to Bros, though, and Shakopee can run another set here. Mitchell. Hesitation. Frankie, another block. We said in the open, the coaching staff wants to see more defense out of her, but Holy Angels struggling on offense. And it's hard to contend when shots aren't falling, and now a foul on number 32.
Fouls on number 32, Becky Little. She's number 15 in your program.
32 is Rebecca Little. Again, when they wear the black alternates, sometimes the numbers move around.
In the game,
Little
for the
and
Sabres,
Caron,
number 33, Kelley Brennan.
a member of the volleyball-basketball crossover group. Bros splits at the line, but the Sabres still have an 18-point lead. The Stars haven't shown enough yet to suggest that lead is in danger. Having a hard time making shots. 3-ball, corner pocket. A badly needed triple for Emma Henry and the Stars. And when 3A and 4A teams play, it's hard to tell what to expect. Usually the 4A teams have the edge when you look at depth, but Holy Angels did pick up wins over Burnsville and Cretin-Derham Hall and Jefferson. Now, those are top-tier 4A teams, at least for the moment. But there's still wins. Cretin-Derham Hall picking up a couple of transfers, bolstering their ranks. Natalie Holte drops her second tray. Caron with the hesitation move. Count it! Kassie Caron gets on the board.
Basket is good. Foul is on number 20.
And if you remember our game with Cretin-Derham Hall, Kassie Caron, her favorite superhero is Flash, but if she could have one superpower, it would be flight, which Flash does not possess. Big superhero fan, though. Little gives the Stars a 4-point play. Well, Little will take that. Shakopee, another 3. You have to think Holy Angels will look to close out on the 3-point shooters. Frankie Vascellaro, contested jumper, pure. And now the Stars are starting to align. I'm sure they've heard that more than once. I'll show myself out. But they do cut the margin to 12. And just to get a couple of plays their way, that could be helpful. Shakopee not going away from those 3-pointers. Delaney Jossert knocks one down. 37-22, and Shakopee using the perimeter to their advantage. Frankie, hesitation again. This time, Bro stays with her. Kassie Caron intercepts and overthrows her target.
In the game for the Sabres, number 31, Maya Mitchell. And we got an official time.
Seven made 3-pointers for the Sabres. The Stars with just 1. And that is one of the differences, that and offensive rebounds. Can the Stars make it 8? I should say the Sabres will make it 8. That's the 3rd triple from Delaney Jossert, and just like that, the Sabres retake momentum. Massaquoi, that was a tough position on the baseline. And Caron draws the foul and will shoot 2. 8 triples for the Sabres. Kassie Caron plays volleyball, basketball, and softball here at Holy Angels. And as we said, big superhero fan, big fan of the MCU. Her father told me it's a family thing. They get together and watch all the MCU movies. Kassie, in particular, a Captain America fan. Frankie cheering for Spider-Man, so I have to imagine she was highly pleased. Jump ball, Holy Angels of the Arrow. I have to imagine Frankie was highly pleased that Sony and Disney were able to work out their differences to keep Spider-Man in the MCU so that Tom Holland can continue interacting with the MCU timeline. Vascellaro fires the 3. Massaquoi able to get the rebound and the putback. That That's one of those no, turning into yes, perhaps. Less than a minute to go. Massaquoi up to 6 off the bench, but the Sabres feeling it from three-point range. Can they get their 9th? No. 44 seconds. That's a walk. Isabel Henry shuffled her feet. Holte on the left wing. Shakopee, I think they're going to hold for the final shot unless something opens up. They're not in any hurry. That's what they'll do. Holte. Now Cordes has it. That's for 2. But they get the buzzer beater. Cordes up to 10 off the bench. Shakopee lights out from the floor in the first half. 42-24 the score. 8 3-pointers for the Sabres. Came close to a 9th. But they'll take this 18-point lead. And for Holy Angels, they have their work cut out for them. Offensive rebounds and long-distance shooting they'll have to contain. But Shakopee, they were no fluke. They got the win over Chaska. An early signature victory. And a win over Holy Angels may not help them in the QRF, but Holy Angels being a top 3A team, it certainly wouldn't be glossed over. We'll come back for the second half in a moment.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
From James. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Mike Beaton here, all by myself, talking to myself. Shakopee and Holy Angels in a battle of former Missota Conference teams. Shakopee with an 18-point lead over Holy Angels, 42-24, led in part by 8 3-pointers from the Sabres. Delaney Jossert responsible for 3 of them. She leads with 11 points. Cordes has 10. Holte and Bros have 6. Massaquoi and Vascellaro both have 6 to lead the Stars. But 3-point shooting and offensive rebounds both working in Shakopee's favor in the first half. We'll see how the Stars respond. Now, the good news is, if you're the Stars, whatever happens, Shakopee is not a team you have to worry about, with Shakopee being in 4A. Holy Angels in 3A. And Shakopee showing a lot of patience here on this first possession of the second half. And I wouldn't be surprised if they slow things down. On the line, but good for 2. Kelley Brennan goes up to 7 with that. Stars have a lot of work to do.
2-point shot for Kelley Brennan.
Stars, one of the contenders in Class 3A. Kawicki no good. Frankie got the rebound, but left it short.
Fouls on number 1, Frankie Vascellaro.
Foul is on Vascellaro, her first, and this is a prime position for the Sabres to be in, up by 20. And the Stars got it to within 12 in the first half. Shakopee answered with back-to-back trays and are looking awfully sharp. Against a team that loves to run the floor, they love to push. Reach and foul on Natalie Holte. As we noted before, a few more Section 2 4A opponents on the Holy Angels schedule, and the series with De La Salle will be one of interest. St. Croix Lutheran brings back just about everybody from the team that beat this Holy Angels team last year. Frankie was hurt in that game, but St. Croix Lutheran, they've got a lot of young guns who can shoot threes. They could be a dark horse in 3-3A. Holy Angels moving to 6-3A this year, where they're heavy favorites to win the group. Mitchell. Out to Holte. Now Bros has it. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if Shakopee takes their time on these possessions. Holy Angels I'd have to get a little more aggressive, try to pounce on mistakes. There's an example. Frankie Vascellaro times the pass. She will get her own rebound and clean up her own mess. Frankie Vascellaro already has 3 double-doubles this season. Kassie Caron tried to get the steal there, unable to do so. And even though Shakopee's up by 16, last couple of plays are enough for Juan Mitchell to call a timeout.
30 seconds out, being called by head coach of the Sabres, Juan Mitchell.
And with this timeout, we'll remind you that if you'd like to support TSB television sports programming and support long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes, check us out at patreon.com/TSB television or sponsor us on PayPal and Cash App. Every contribution goes to our game coverage. We've already picked up a few supporters in the early part of the season, and we'd love to have you on board with us. We recently passed 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, so clearly, whoever's watching this, you enjoy what I have to say. Or maybe you do the smart thing and put me on mute. No, we're really appreciative to have you watching this wherever you are. Deep three, no good. Another offensive rebound. Holy Angels has not found an answer as far as positioning goes. Shakopee seems to have the better instinct in that regard today. And those offensive rebounds allow the Sabres to eat up more time, and that's going to be a foul on Kowicki, her third. If you're Holy Angels, you want one and done. You do not want any second chance opportunities here if you're looking to work your way back. Back door, Vascellaro with the block. That's the third block unofficially for Frankie Vascellaro. She had just 2 going in. And now Frankie was pushed by number 31, Maya Mitchell. That's just a second for Maya.
Calls on the Sabres, number 31, Maya Mitchell. That's her second personal.
Kowicki, that was close. And Isabel Henry lost it. The efficiency is crucial, and that's something that Dan Woods wants to spruce up as the season moves along. And he mentioned even though Holy Angels have a couple of games in the 80s, one in the 90s, he said once we get our efficiency up to specs, like those are games where we could score 100. But he likes this run, run, run philosophy of Holy Angels, and a late foul called on Emma Henry, much to her dismay.
Fouls on the stars, number 10, Emma Henry. That's her first personal. At the line for the Sabres, number 3, Natalie Holte.
Natalie Holte. Leading scorer for the Sabres, 13.2 a game. Her season high is 17. But as we said before, the Shakopee team, they spread the ball around. They don't have a superstar the way other teams do. And you don't need it when you can get O-boards. And that's a killer. Holte split at the line, but thanks to the hustle of Mitchell, knocks down a 3, and the Sabres go back up by 20. Frankie Vascellaro airballs the 3. This is Shakopee's night. Three double-digit scores for the Sabres, and they asserted themselves from the start, had that big run, 15-4 to start the game, and they've been in control ever since. Maya Mitchell couldn't score there. Frankie feeds it to Caron. Kassie with the turnaround. Well, that's a microcosm of the night for Holy Angels. And a collision sends two of them tumbling. Frankie Vascellaro, another rejection. Well, give credit to Frankie, doing what she can to keep her team in there.
For the Stars, number 2, Grace Massacoy, and number 5, Sheriff Henderson in the game.
Massacoy and Henderson. On the floor for the Stars. Well, sometimes you just run into a bigger opponent. Massacoy with the alteration. Holy Angels with the arrow. 12:37 left in the second half. And say what you will about some of the opponents. Now Cooper going up to 4A. Beat twice handily by Holy Angels in the last couple of years. Got their comeuppance last Friday. And Holy Angels, a lot of 4A teams on the schedule. We'll see how that plays out as the season moves along when they move to Tri-Metro play. No 4A teams to worry about there. That's a deep 3. Emma Henry can't connect. Ball last touched by Kelley Brennan. But the Sabres still have a 20-point lead with 12 minutes to go. And the Sabres, they got a taste of the juggernaut that is Farmington. Likely a favorite. Kassie, Caron, that's a deep 3. Likely the favorite to win the South Suburban this year. Vascellaro finishes the play after the Stars had a couple of cracks at it. Frankie goes up to 10. Mitchell. Again. That's the second time Maya Mitchell's gone coast to coast. This time off an inbound. But Maya, she can run the floor. Cherish Henderson. That may have been a desperation play on the part of Holy Angels. Massacoy Made a fine defensive play, and then Holy Angels threw it away. Holte. Out to Bros. Page. The bounce pass. Hesitation move against Shakopee. They look like they're going to be in a hurry to force the issue on offense. Traveling violation. Kassie Caron helping up Paige Bros, but some of the Stars fans a little restless there as Bros was able to collect her own miss. This is a high-level 4A team, though. Even though they did not appear in the preseason poll. Shakopee, as we said earlier, a signature win over Chaska. Frankie Vascellaro can't get the turnaround to fall. And it looks like she won't have her third straight 30-point game. Well, it's tough when you play a team like Shakopee. They're knocking down threes, and Holy Angels just not getting enough shots to go in. Cordis, I should say. Now McClellan tries, can't finish there. Massaquoi with the rebound. The sophomore. Will they give her the continuation? Yes. I've seen her play a couple of times now. Cretin-Durham Hall here against Shakopee. Grace Massaquoi. She's going to make a fine addition to this team over the years. A team that only has two seniors who play significant time in the Henry twins. Grace Massaquoi fitting quite nicely with this Holy Angels team. And even if they don't get the win tonight, keep an eye out for number 2. She could be one of the floor leaders in future seasons. And gives the Stars an option they didn't have a year ago. Well, there she is again, getting the deflection. 50-33 the score. Maya Mitchell having some trouble. Finds Bros on the corner, and again, Shakopee will run their sets. Not gonna be in a hurry to push it, although we saw how speedy they can be in the first half. Mitchell. The shovel pass to Kate Cordis. And Cordis will shoot 2. Cordis with 10 off the bench. Season highs 11. Split for Cordis. Shakopee 6 of 11. Frankie into traffic. Cordis will back off. Didn't have the numbers for a fast break play there. Like we said, we saw plenty of speed out of the Sabres in the first half. Playing much more deliberately here in the second. High-low, Cordis. Doesn't like what she sees. And Juan Mitchell will get the timeout call with 8:37 to go. Shakopee in a busy stretch of games. They play 5 over the next 8 days before they take the holidays off and resume with Rosemount. Rosemount, one of the teams to watch in Section 3 4A this year. And they could be the favorite to win that group. Lakeville North losing to Apple Valley in a surprise result there. Eastview rebuilding somewhat. Shakopee will rematch with Farmington January 17th. And other games of note, Champlain Park, January 30th. Shakopee will head up to Champlain for that one, a battle of Section 2 versus Section 5. And for Holy Angels, we noted 2 non-conference games in January and February. Well, 3 if you count Maranatha. Maranatha, Prior Lake, and Chanhassen. The games of De La Salle, we noted before, St. Croix Lutheran, January 21st and Valentine's Day. St. Croix Lutheran, not to be underestimated, and even Fridley picked up a big win over former conference rival, Concordia Academy. Concordia going over to the Skyline. And even if Holy Angels can't get the win here, again, it doesn't hurt them as far as QRF is concerned. They got the big win over Minnehaha Academy, a team that had knocked off Sauk Center. And Shakopee, this will be a good primer for what should be a good battle with the Eastview. The Lightning, similarly built to Shakopee as far as perimeter shooting is concerned. We saw that at the St. Thomas tip-off. Little got there initially for the block. Let's see if the Stars have anything left. You know, if they've got something, this is going to be the time to do it. Egan throws it away, and Cordes completes the transition play. She's up to 13, new season high for Kate Cordes, the sophomore. Holy Angels sending in some of the bench players here. 3 on the way. Massaquoi with the O-board. Grace Massaquoi high off the window and in. Grace, a fitting name. I don't know how her parents came up with it, but the way she's played, from what I've seen in a couple of games I've had a chance to observe her, Grace Massaquoi, real impressive. Joe Berg really likes what she brings to this team. She completes a 3-point play. She said getting more minutes, or I should say Joe said Grace getting more minutes with each game. Wouldn't be surprised if she gets a starting spot. Well, she will next year, and you can make an argument that she could start even this year, but it's hard to argue against the starting 5 they have, and having that 6th option, crucial in Class 3A, as we have a timeout called by Holy Angels, it looked like. And there we go. Christmas is coming, and I've done a lot of December games at Holy Angels in the past, and they usually play some Christmas tunes around this time. 53-36. We've got a few games leading into the Christmas break next week. De La Salle, St. Michael, Albertville. That'll be another battle of 3A versus 4A teams. Maranatha, Minnehaha. That should be a good one. And if we can make it work, Minnetonka and St. Louis Park all next week. I have no idea why, but a lot of you really like watching girls basketball on YouTube. How it's become my most watched sport beats me, but I appreciate everyone who watches the games, leaves remarks. It's a wonderful community. As Nia Holly once told me, you meet a lot of people through this thing called basketball. And the effort we are seeing out of Grace Massaquoi, even if it's a losing one as far as the team score goes, that's what you want to see if you're a coach. How you handle situations like this. Are you playing just as hard in these games as you do when you're up by 20 or 30, as Holy Angels has been in the likes, against the likes of Minnehaha and Bloomington Jefferson? You want folks who will play no matter what. That's going to be a foul on Egan. And Cordes will shoot 2 more.
The Stars, number 3, Lyson Egan, that's for third personal. At the line, number 23 for 2 shots, Kate Cordes.
And for the Sabres, A nice bounce-back performance after the Farmington game. Again, Farmington, one of the top teams in Class 4A. Figure to make a deep run in state if they get out of Section 1. And as we said, there are no guarantees. And even those second and third meetings, they often go down to the wire too. Holy Angels comes to mind with the 3 matches they had against De La Salle a year ago. In 3A, De La Salle off to a slow start, although no one is going to write an obituary for them just yet. Another timeout for the Sabres. 6:47 to go. No one is going to be writing an obituary for De La Salle, even though they had a slow start. You know, they lost the games at the St. Thomas tip-off, played Hopkins. That result not too surprising. But the Islanders, they scheduled tough. They're going to play Mankato West in January, one of the top 3A teams in the preseason polls. And this is a tune. You don't hear this at other gyms. The Lovin' Spoonful. One of the staples here at the private school located in Richfield. Takes it back to the 60s. Well, we like these time jumps, and I'm dating myself even though I was not born in the 60s. 6:47 left, 55-36. Cordes 15 off the bench to lead all players. Stars, again, offensive rebounds, struggles with shooting. That allowed Shakopee to build this lead that they've held on to for the most part. But in 3A, in the early going, it looks like 3 teams have emerged in the front of the pack. Becker and Holy Angels have some big wins already. Shakopee off the inbound. That's a foul on Egan. That'll be your 4th. And will it be a side out? Yes, it will.
Fouls on the Stars, number 3, Lexi Egan. That's her 4th.
You have to like what Holy Angels has done so far with the wins over Minnehaha and Orono will be a key one. Orono, a potential sleeper in Section 6. A lot of folks think they are going to be better than a year ago as they rebuilt their ranks following their state championship from 2017.
Fouls on the Stars, number 42, Cassandra Caron. That's her 1st personal. Number 33, Kelley Brennan.
Kelley Brennan to shoot 1-1. No good there. What do you think, Becker, Holy Angels, De La Salle? And Isabel Henry didn't stand her pivot there. Como Park, they had that overtime loss to St. Louis Park. That's a 4A school, so it won't hurt them. They're small, but they're in a section they can win after getting moved from Section 4 to Section 3. And they're scrappy. Haven't quite recaptured the glory they once had with Andrea Adams. But they've had a lot of young guns with plenty of experience. A lot of folks who started as 8th graders. Shakopee working the clock. And they'll shoot more free throws.
Fouls on the Stars, number 1, Frankie Vascellaro. That's her 2nd personal. And the 18th foul of the half.
Second foul on Frankie, but with 5:44 to go and Shakopee with a 19-point lead, that appears to be consequential. Kelley Brennan to shoot. Can't get the bounce there. Struggling a little bit from the line. And that's got to be frustrating for Holy Angels. Kassie, Caron had the layup, and they just cannot get the ball to go in. Henry with the steal. Massaquoi no good. Henry. Off balance, makes it work. Shakopee in transition. Paige Bros scores.
Paige Bros for 2.
Deep three for Caron. And that was missing from the Holy Angels artillery tonight. But these are the kind of games when 3-18s play 4-18s. They help prepare you for the season. And when you look at the schedule, as Kassie Caron helps up Natalie Holte after she committed the foul. You like to see that, though. Players helping each other out, and Holy Angels, no ego about them. They stick together. A lot of chemistry, camaraderie. We saw that in the Cretin-Durham Hall game when I had a chance to speak with Frankie Vascellaro and Kassie Caron. Natalie Holte adds 2 more. She's up to 12. Massaquoi up to 14. Grace Massaquoi putting together a fine performance here. That's another foul on Caron. That'll be a third. But when you looked at the schedule, you figured this is one of those games. Dowling Catholic, another one with Caitlin Clark. The high-quality non-conference games that will help Holy Angels get themselves in position for a potential state tournament run as they try to make it 5 in a row. And this is one of those nights where sometimes you have a hard time making things work. Frankie Vascellaro short on the layup. Conversely with Holy Angels, as Isabel Henry gets the steal. Grace Massaquoi with the finish. Grace Massaquoi shining here against Shakopee. But against Minnehaha, everything was going in for the Stars. Against Shakopee, a little harder. And the way they play, the way they're able to run the floor early in the first half, 3-pointers, this is a team, like we said, they beat Chaska. Quality win there. Chaska was a top 10 team in 4A when those two met. And Shakopee won the group last year. EP, a team to watch. Edina having a good start. They're 3-1. That's a foul on Massaquoi. That's her first. And free throws coming for Delaney Jossard, who had 3 triples in the first half, 11 points, has not scored here, but hasn't needed to. Well, this is the kind of game that Shakopee wanted. They had that big first half and playing much more deliberately in the second. And just a few too many miscues on the part of Holy Angels, but let's give plenty of credit to Shakopee and how they played today with the transition offense, the perimeter shooting they displayed. They will be a team to keep an eye on. Whether or not they can hang with the likes, well, we'll see. Farmington, again, gave them a butt kicking 2 days ago. Farmington, Hopkins, Stillwater coming together in the last couple of games. Park Center out in Section 5. Don't underestimate Roseville either, so those are going to be the benchmarks. And again, Shakopee not playing Eden Prairie on the schedule, so we'll have to see if those two were to meet in section play, how that would pan out. Eden Prairie, they've got a big roster. A lot who came back from a year ago. They added a couple of transfers. EP ready to make a charge. Minnetonka, another one of those teams in Section 2. That are hoping to build off that young core from a year ago. So this is one of several teams, and when you look at that section, you could have a situation where you have a high-quality team that has to play their first round on the road. But we'll see how things play out as the season moves along. Again, Edina off to a strong start. Shakopee, a good start. Eden Prairie lost to Park Center back in November. But they are not to be underestimated. They got that big win over Maple Grove. Cordis to Page Bros. Gets her own miss. Shakopee playing a well-oiled game. I know that's not the right reference, but they played poised, disciplined, and they got on that big run early, and that allowed them to dictate the tempo, set the pace. And they're going to get out of here with a win. As Jossert adds to her total, and Shakopee not even going to bother with an offensive rebound here. Jossert up to 15. Caron to Vascellaro. No good. Another one of those rough games for Frankie Vascellaro, and they will happen when you are a shooter like she is. Shakopee on the fast break one more time. Kelley Brennan scores. Key is how you respond to a game like this. And from what we've seen out of Holy Angels, I don't think that will be a concern. They'll have a week to practice, work on some things. They get Orono next Thursday. Isabel Henry scores, and we'll have a chance at 3. It's not fun to be on the losing end of a game like this, especially when nothing seems to be working as well as you'd like. I wouldn't say Holy Angels was outplayed or outmatched, but when you're not able to hit shots at the clip that Shakopee did, that's tough to hang with them. And that's going to happen. Caron fouls out, inconsequential here.
Fouls on the start, number 42, Kassie Caron, that's her 5th personal. In the game for the Stars, number 5, Cherish Henderson.
Maya Mitchell to shoot 2, and Dan Woods will call a timeout with 1:02 left. Holy Angels with 4, so they don't carry over to the next one. My first time seeing Shakopee play, and again, what has impressed me the most is the amount of discipline they exhibited. It helps when you make 8 3-pointers like they did in the first half, and that ability to knock shots down from long range. They can run the floor. Again, they're not a team that likes to floor it the way Stillwater, Farmington, and Hopkins do, but they had enough discipline, distance shooting to make a combination that led them to victory tonight. Shakopee will go to 4-1 on the season. Holy Angels will fall to 4-3, but that record not indicative of the potential for this Holy Angels team. And as we noted earlier, Holy Angels playing a lot of 4A schools. This is their 5th. They will have 2 more with Prior Lake and Chanhassen. Even though those two are on the bottom end of the Section 2 standings, the way things are shaping up right now. they'll be ready. And another school that Holy Angels feels could be a contender, both in Section 6 and in the Tri-Metro, is Richfield. They only won 5 games last year, but they bring back a lot of young pieces. Massaquoi for 3, no good. And Shakopee, this will be a fine victory. As we noted, a good bounce back for them after getting pummeled by Farmington. They'll get another chance at the Tigers on January 17th. Until then, they'll have to make their way through some of the other contenders in the South Suburban.
Kelley Brennan, number 33 at the line. 2 shots.
Kelley Brennan goes up to 10 for double-digit scores for the Sabres. And now we're seeing Amanda Hookey, number 13, and number 15, Shyla Moore, will be going in a moment.
And number 15 in the game.
Shakopee 18 of 27 from the free throw line. 69-45. Shakopee, though, will get plenty of tests in the South Suburban. They already have one with Farmington. And as we mentioned earlier, Rosemount, Lakeville North, Eastview, Vascellaro will shoot 2. Plenty of chances to test their mettle.
Fouls on the Stars.
Frankie Vascellaro, not the game she wanted tonight, struggled. Same thing happened with the Dowling Catholic game, but again, you know, when you shoot the way she does, that will happen sometimes. Even Maya Moore, it's a lane violation, so that will not count. Oh no, there was a timeout. I thought.
Lane violation there, then we have a
Lane violation and a timeout. What else can we talk about? Now the clock is going. If I didn't know any better, I'd say this place might be haunted. 25 seconds, again, inconsequential here. 69-47 is the score, so Frankie Vascellaro should have 11. I was going to say, when you're a shooter, Maya Moore runs into this. Sarah Scalia last year at Stillwater, Rachel Banham, players who can shoot from almost anywhere. You know, they will have performances where they run into some trouble. It happens to everybody. You just got to get through it. You know, shooting percentages, averages, they do reset the clock to 29.8. Not that it matters. Wait, did they count that? That was a lane violation. Okay, guess they did. Apparently, because if that didn't count, you can't run the floor on the inbound. 15 seconds. There's number 40, Nicole Giese. And Shakopee will get their first 70-point game of the season. Nicole Giese gets on the board. So Shakopee, not that they needed 70, but they'll take it. Holy Angels will regroup. Shakopee will get the win, 71-47 the final. Balanced effort, including 15 from Kate Cordes and Delaney Jossert, Natalie Holte with 13. The offensive rebounds and the three-point shooting in the first half made a big difference for the Sabres. And Shakopee, once again, reminding folks that they are a team to watch in Section 2. You're watching high school girls basketball.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves, Holloman, good if it goes. Yes! Game winners. James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in! And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching. And joining me are Delaney Jossard and Kate Cordes of the victorious Shakopee Sabres. Delaney, Shakopee, they're not necessarily known to run the floor the way other teams do, but your transition play, offensive rebounds, and three-point shooting made a big difference in the first half. You had 3 triples. How do you think that got Shakopee in a rhythm early?
Well, we had struggled with shooting in the previous games, and we practiced it a lot yesterday. So today, being able to hit threes for all of our team, it got us like a lead, and then we kept it. We didn't pull up on the pressure, and we maintained the lead, and that's what led to the win.
And speak of the run you put early. It was 15-4, and then you were able to maintain it throughout. How were you able to get such a good jump on the Stars?
We knew they were going to come out and pressure us, and so we were prepared for that. We made the extra pass, and we sunk all of our shots.
How exciting is it to have 8 triples in the first half, and when you release it, to see all those 3-pointers go in?
It's really exciting, especially after coming off of a little drought from shooting. It feels good, and it will get us ready for our game tomorrow.
That's right. You've got Eastview. And Kate, you came on strong in the second half, hit a lot of free throws. What would you make of the poise and the discipline of Shakopee? Because we saw them display that to their fullest in the second half.
I mean, our coach is always telling us, like, we have to keep our calm and we have to make the extra passes and we have to run the floor. And I think just, like, keeping a mindset kind of helped us with that.
You get a win over Holy Angels. You picked up a big one over Chaska earlier this season. Some folks maybe were wondering what to expect out of the Shakopee team. What do you think these early results outside of Farmington have shown to the audience out there about what this team can do?
I mean, we're always working hard and we're short this year. So our kind of like motto for this year was kind of running the floor, and we always have to rebound. And I think that helped us a lot in the early games. And I think we'll be pretty solid this year.
And for the two of you, how do you think the state quarterfinal, or I should say state tournament appearance last season, how do you think that carried over to this year?
I think we did lose a lot of our seniors, which were really good players, but I think that really fired us up for this year, and we're going to make another appearance.
Yeah, we were really motivated from last year, and we kept feeling that we got when we won, and we really want to have that again.
All right, you want to say hi to anybody?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, moms of Shakopee and elsewhere. Well, congrats on the win. I think the Chaska victory, it proves that that state tournament appearance last year was not out of the blue, that this team can compete, and we'll see if you can carry this over to South Suburban play. But congrats on the win, and good luck against Eastview.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Delaney Jossard and Kate Cordes, and that wraps up our coverage here from Holy Angels in Ridgefield. For the rest of our crew, I'm Mike Peden. Thanks for watching.